I'm going to be talking about Fosselman's Ice Cream in Alhambra.
This is a good place. This is a good place.
This is an honest place. Fosselman's Ice Cream history goes back 100 years to 1919. The tale begins with Christian Fosselman, and it begins in Waverly, Iowa. The Fosselman Brewery, which had been established in 1883 by his father, Peter Fosselman, a brewmaster hailed from Germany. So his father...
Hailed or heiled?
It was 19...
I'll never forgive him.
It was 1883, so they weren't hiling yet. But between 1880 to 1890, there was a statewide ban on making and selling alcohol. It was like a prequel to Prohibition.
Wait a minute, in Germany or in
Iowa?
Oh, okay. Is this Germany? No, it's Iowa.
Welcome to Iowa. Show me your papers. So the Fosselman Brewery became the Waverly Bottling Works, and they started cooking up ginger ale, soda waters, root beer, lemon sours, nice drinks for nice people. His son Christian, so there's Peter, who's the father. Now his son Christian.
His boy Christian.
His son Christian was already getting a taste for the business, helping at his family's bottling plant. He had gone to a bottlers convention in Toronto, and there was he got a glimpse of an ice cream making machine. So he bought it and he brought it back to Iowa, where he began producing ice cream, which he would freeze using blocks of ice from the nearby Cedar River. So now the Waverly...
Ew. He would just cut blocks of ice out of the river?
And then use it to freeze the cream or the ice cream, whatever he's making.
It's disgusting.
Whatever, you got.
Where'd he get the cream? What river was that from?
It's like negative 1901. There's nothing happening. They have nothing.
Negative 1901.
Yeah, it's so far in the past.
Which is also the temperature.
So now the Waverly Bottling Works could now sell dairy products and ice cream. But instead of selling to just other shops, Christian decided to open up his own shop, and that was the first Fosselman's Ice Cream in Waverly in 1919, while still managing a family of 7 children, 4 boys and 3 girls. So it's
not from Los Angeles.
Well, we get popular in Los Angeles.
This is borderline.
Let me go over my notes. Where's Iowa?
Now, is that part of Los Angeles?
Changes in cold storage technology, that at the time being an icebox or freezer, meant that he didn't need to be linked to the Cedar River ice blocks anymore. Somewhere along these lines, an idea began to form about selling ice cream, but not in Iowa. Instead, he'd be taking his cold treat and selling it at a place where it was endlessly summer. So in 1924...
How come this river's not freezing?
So in 1924, the Fosselman family moved, along with their business, to Los Angeles, specifically Pasadena. And it seemed at first he was just making the dairy products and selling them to stores wholesale. But after about 10 years, in 1936, Christian and his son Bill opened up the first retail shop, the West Coast Fosselman's Ice Cream Parlor at 1515 Fair Oaks Avenue near East Howard Street. There's now a convalescent home there. The business became so lucrative that he was able to begin distributing products such as milk, butter, cream, and ice cream out of with a fleet of 20 trucks. The heir apparent, Bill Fosselman, got married to a woman named Mary and then almost immediately took off to serve for 4 years in the Navy in World War II.
That's the way you do it.
All ice cream men have to fight in the war.
Marry me, you'll never see me again. Bye.
When he came back to the States after Hitler was killed.
That look-alike.
I put that mustache on anybody, kind of look like Hitler. He continued putting energy to the family business with the help of his siblings, in particular Bob and Jim Fosselman. So over the next 10 years, Bobblehead Fosselman. Over the next 10 years, Fosselman's opened up 4 more stores: Alhambra on Main Street in 1941, Highland Park and Glendale in 1946, with a different son running their own branch. The Alhambra parlor also served as a production facility, so the ice cream and dairy items would be made there in the shop. For years, Fosselman's was the local hangout and watering hole, serving their communities well. And later in years, to deal with people seeking meals for lunch breaks, food items were added to Fosselman's menu, and that transformed it into a typical old-fashioned ice cream and coffee shop. It was the ideal Main Street USA ice cream parlor for many years in Southern California. Trouble comes in the 1970s when all of the stores' popularity began to wane. And in 1974, the Mothership store in South Pasadena was part of a structure that was set to be demolished and redeveloped, and there were no plans on reestablishing a Fosselman's there. So the original store was destroyed, and a plaque now stands there commemorating it.
What flavor is it?
I haven't licked it recently, but last time it tasted like everyone's hands. Is that a flavor? Like palm? The 2 other locations, Glendale and Highland Park, also closed their doors around the same time, and the wholesale business of Fosselman's dropped down to 10 customers. The only store left was the Alhambra location, and that also housed the production facility. So this was the last stand of Fosselman's. It should also be said that in 1979, Fosselman's was used in a deleted scene in the horror movie Phantasm. Anyway, the family business was in serious trouble.
You're right. That should also be said.
It should also be said that David Klein rented a corner of the Alhambra store to first sell his candy creation, Jolly Belly brand Jolly Beans, named after folk hero. Did you know that Jolly Belly was named after Lead Belly? Or inspired?
Wait a minute. How much of this is true?
That's true. He didn't invent Jelly Beans.
But Jelly Belly started in a corner of Fosselman's, and it's named after Huddard Leadbelly?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is too much. I wasn't ready for this information.
I wasn't ready either. I'm like, okay. So anyways, Fosselman's is in serious trouble. It's now time for the third generation. So first you had Christian who opened it, then his son Bill and his brothers Bob and Jim. So now it's Christian's grandsons. I can't really track down when they took over, but they took over, I want to say late 80s, early 90s. And it's time for John and Chris Fosselman, who are 21 and 23 years old, to start taking over their family business. They bought out their dad and uncles, and now they were the managers of Fosselman's Ice Cream and their one humble location in Alhambra. They saw how the business was run, and they knew changes had to be made to become more profitable and survive. They also needed to hold on to their granddad's business philosophy. Use the best locally sourced ingredients. Sell ice cream. Make it cold. Make sure people...
And sell it.
No matter what you do, just sell a vanilla too.
First comes the ice cream, then comes the power, and then comes the drippings on the floor.
It feels like one of those things is like, as my grandfather said, use the best locally sourced ingredients.
Yeah.
That's...
As my grandpa said, make it good. Make sure your food tastes good.
But they had to stick to...
And sell it for money.
Or you could trade cows for it. Granddad came from another time. They were trying to stick to their grandfather's sort of philosophy about this whole ice cream business, which is like use locally sourced ingredients, all natural stuff, no corn syrup, no preservatives, and make small batches by hand with as much butterfat as possible.
No soft serve.
Get out of town. They don't know what they're talking
about. Get out of town, Grandpa.
Yeah.
Your grandpa's crazy.
There's more Fosters than Fosselmans out there. They worked on building up their wholesale business again and targeted upscale wholesale and food service industry stuff. Another incredible helpful thing they did was to go out and understand the changing demographic of their area, Alhambra. Alhambra has a very large Asian and Latino population, so Fosselman started crafting ice cream flavors based on those markets, whipping up and serving flavors such as Oaxacan chocolate, horchata,
Oaxaca chaca,
dulce de leche, red bean lychee, green tea, taro root, and even a foray into Midori wasabi ice cream, in which they used a pound of wasabi.
Greg, I don't like this.
Stop talking now. I don't like other cultures. I know that's what this is about.
Again?
Did you say Asian and Latino?
Make America vanilla again, please.
The store was kept incredibly ornate, dare I say old-timey, and appears very authentically like an ice cream parlor of a bygone era, because the business opened there in 1941, but the building itself was from 1905, and it sits between an Acura dealership and a Wells Fargo.
Also from 1905.
Also from 1905.
Wells Fargo, maybe, but definitely Acura.
Oh, also the Wells Fargo, it does all the business out of an old covered wagon. Also, when I say the store's old-timey, pay attention to this. Cash only. Shooting very ahead to the present day, Fosselman's now boasts more than 600 accounts in Southern California, as well as hawking soft serve and sorbets to Northern California.
Emphasis on hawking when you're talking about soft serve. Hawk,
because I eat it so easily, because it's easy to eat. So they start selling stuff as far as Northern California, Nevada, Colorado, and Texas. There are a lot of places in town that also serve Fosselman's, and they come in all sizes and areas. Some of LA's most exclusive restaurants, hotels, private clubs, and other ice cream shops might even sell Fosselman's under their own brand names.
Yeah.
You can get Fosselman's served to you at restaurants like The Counter, Jones Coffee House, The Melt, Dog House serves a lot of Fosselman's ice cream.
That's what I was going to say. You see Fosselman's being sold in other places more than you actually know that Fosselman's is a place.
Exactly, yeah. And also a lot of places apparently will say they're serving you Fosselman's, but serving you like a cheaper, like a Baskin Robbins or a Thrifty's.
Let's not get, come on. It might be Foster's Freeze.
But to me, seeing that they serve Fosselman's ice cream, it's like a stamp of
local pride.
Local pride, and also like, oh, this ice cream's going to be good. I can't have it, but I'm glad for you. You're eating history.
I hope you're happy.
Grandma. Chris and John are still running things and not just managing. They being the brothers and about 40 employees, they get to the shop as early as 7 a.m. and start the process of making between 2,000 to 2,500 gallons of ice cream every week. The ice cream is batch made and hand stirred just like it was 100 years ago when their grandfather started the business. It's heavy on buttercream and all the ingredients are natural with no fillers. Almost all of the milk and cream and other ingredients used
killer though.
Almost all of the milk and cream and other ingredients used in the ice cream are locally sourced from California-based companies. So the production room at Fosselman's is about 600 square feet, where all the ice cream is made in four.
It's tiny.
It's really small, right?
Yeah.
Like the store is small.
That's barely bigger than where I live.
I have a wacky idea.
Move into Fosselman's. It's an upgrade.
I have a question. Did you serve in World War II, though?
According to my official documents, yes.
I have a Medal of Honor.
My name is Dick Whitley.
Anyways, they make the ice cream in 4 Emery Thompson batch freezers. Their storage vat, which is original from the 30s, holds 225 gallons of ice cream base, which is a rich and frothy concoction of only 4 ingredients: cream, milk, sugar, and a vegetable-based stabilizer, made for Fosselman's by Scott Brothers Dairy in Chino, which uses the same recipe that Christian Fosselman created in Iowa almost 100 years ago. In 2009, a writer for The Guardian said that the Fosselman's milkshake is the best in the world for his list on The Guardian. It's a well-loved and well-revered ice cream shop, and it's talked about like it's the pinnacle of the city. Like there's so much love in town for Fosselman's. My grandma lived in Alhambra, and I remember being out there for summers when my aunt and her would take us out. It was like one thing to go to Thrifty, so that's clearly just ice cream to shut us up while they were shopping. But if we were told that
really
we were
interesting that you say that, something like that, it's so incorrect, but okay.
If we were told we were going to Fosselman's, which is a rare treat, that's a stop. We got dressed up. We put suits and ties and comb our hair. That's barely an exaggeration.
Polka dot suits. Yeah.
We're going to Ice Cream Church. Fosselman's is sacred ground in Los Angeles, and in recent news, there's a new Fosselman's location that's set open in Glendora. Fosselman's has a pretty wide range of flavors and products: ice cream cones, soft serves, sorbets, root beer floats, banana splits, shakes and malts, freezes, brownie sundaes, ice cream sandwiches, ice cream cakes, ice cream pies. They have flavors like horchata, taro, banana walnut, cappuccino, butter pecan, English toffee, French vanilla bean, pink champagne, pink grapefruit, as well as all the normal flavors.
You're being a little intolerant by saying normal flavors. How about the cis flavors? God created 3 flavors.
They have monthly specialty flavors. The special flavor of August is boysenberry kiwi strawberry sorbet. Fosselman's is at 1824 West Main Street in Alhambra. They are open late, Monday to Saturday 10 to 10, and Sunday 11:30 to 10. It's summer, people. Treat yourself to a scuba valley history.
That is beautiful.